Title: During my annual review, my wife's dad, the CEO, Jim Tanner, said, "We're cutting your salary in half. Take it or leave it." Start: I sat across from him in the glass-walled office, the city lights flickering behind his shoulders like fireflies trapped in a jar. His voice was steady, arrogant, sharp enough to slice through the silence. "We're cutting your salary in half. Take it or leave it." The words were designed to humiliate me. He leaned back in his leather chair, smirking, confident he'd cornered me. I didn't flinch. I didn't argue. I just asked one question. When does this take effect? He laced his fingers together, smug. Immediately. I nodded, calm, too calm. Perfect timing. That was the moment he lost. Though he didn't know it, the game had already ended before it began. Jim Tanner wasn't just my boss. He was my wife's father, my daughter's grandfather, the man who shook my hand at my wedding and called me son. I believed him once. I trusted him once. He was the man who told me family takes care of family. And I was foolish enough to believe that applied to me. Years I gave him, years of late nights, flights across oceans, contracts signed under fluorescent lights while my wife slept alone at home. I thought I was building a legacy for us, for her, for our daughter. But Jim Tanner never saw me as family. To him, I was just an employee he could bend, break, or discard. And when I began to notice the coldness in my wife's eyes, the whispers she thought I couldn't hear when she spoke to him on the phone, I understood. This wasn't just business. This was betrayal. It started with the smallest slip. A hotel receipt tucked into a folder she'd left on the counter. The name on it wasn't mine. I confronted her. She didn't deny it. She didn't even look guilty. "Dad says you'll never be enough for me," she muttered, almost rehearsed, like she'd said it in her head 100 times. Her father's poison had already seeped too deep. That night, I realized I wasn't just fighting for a marriage or a job. I was fighting a war against a man who thought he owned me. And wars are not won with emotion. They're won with precision. I didn't rage. I didn't scream. I played the role of the loyal husband, the obedient employee. I let them think I was beaten. But in silence, I began to move. I documented everything: emails, phone calls, financial transfers hidden under company expenses. Jim Tanner was sloppy when he believed he was untouchable. His daughter was careless when she thought I was blind. And then the unexpected opportunity came. A quiet dinner with a recruiter from Kane Industries, Jim's fiercest competitor. They'd been circling me for months, offering more than I ever imagined. I hadn't said yet, not yet. But that night, after hearing my wife laugh at a text she quickly hid, after Jim Tanner announced the salary cut with that infuriating smirk, I said yes. My resignation was quiet, no drama, no storming out. I shook hands, thanked them for the opportunity, and walked away. But I didn't walk empty-handed. Because Kane Industries didn't just want me. They wanted the contracts I managed, the clients who trusted me more than they trusted Tanner Corp, and the inside knowledge Jim never imagined I'd use against him. Every file, every contact, every carefully documented weakness, I brought it with me. Legally, perfectly above board, but devastating all the same. In 3 months, I redirected millions in revenue. In 6 months, Tanner Corp lost 2 of its biggest clients. In 9 months, Kane Industries overtook them in market share. And all the while, I stayed silent, watching, waiting. It happened at the annual shareholders meeting. Jim Tanner took the stage, his face pale but defiant, numbers flashing on the giant screen behind him. Declining profits, vanishing contracts, investors shifting their loyalties. And then, my moment. I stepped onto the stage. The whispers surged through the room like electricity. His jaw locked when he saw me. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said into the microphone, my voice steady, cold, calculated. "My name is no longer tied to Tanner Corp. But some of you may recognize me as the man your CEO dismissed not long ago." Gasps, eyes darting between us. I was told I wasn't worth my salary, that I should take it or leave it. So I left. And I took what couldn't be replaced: trust, loyalty, relationships. Today, those belong to Kane Industries. The silence was absolute. Jim's face reddened, his smirk gone, his empire crumbling in front of him. And then the investors began to stand, one by one, applauding, not for him, for me. My wife filed for divorce soon after. She tried to cling to her father's sinking ship, but she drowned with him. I didn't fight her for the house. I didn't need to. I had already taken what mattered most: my independence, my daughter's future, and the power Jim Tanner believed was his alone. Sometimes I replay that moment in the office. Him leaning back, smug, telling me he was cutting my salary. He thought he was breaking me. But the truth is, he handed me the match that burned his empire to the ground. Perfect timing, I had said. And it was. Because revenge doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it signs a new contract. Sometimes it walks away smiling while the empire falls in silence. And me? I don't regret a thing.